Let me tell you, if it wasn't for that headbutt and cut, I would have fucking walked through him. If you watch that fight. Watch that fight till the
It was
blood
a
happened.
right hand.
If it wasn't for the headbutt,
It wasn't a headbutt. It was
boom.
a right hand.
Okay, right hand lands.
Right hand
Right on the
lands.
left eye. Watch where it lands again. I'm going to show you one more time. Boom.
It's going to
Now
trickle
look,
in a second.
You can see Strickland's not bleeding just yet.
He blinks. He winks
So you'll see
his
in a
left
second
eye.
he starts to blink it out here. Watch. In a sec, so that jab misses, and then the left hand misses. And in a second, from the
You can see it
camera
already.
angle change, look, you can see him
He's
blinking
blinking
it
again.
out right there. Now watch, you'll see the blood trickle down his face here in a second. Boom. Right there. There's blood right trickling. You can just barely see it in the frame on the screen right now. DDP talks a little bit of crap to him, says, I'm going to beat you like your daddy did. And Sean O'Malley says, at least my daddy didn't fuck me. And this is what you get out of Sean Strickland.
Bro, what? That's right. You read the title? Sean Strickland's a clown. Okay? It's not the most popular opinion, but it's the right opinion. And you guys have no one to blame but yourself for this one. Who was once the badass who could say anything you wanted and didn't care. Just wanted to fight. Fuck the belt. I just want to fight. I just want heads. I just want to entertain you guys. Has turned himself into a self-entitled crybaby clown who likes to beat up on small YouTubers and streamers with zero fighting experience and cry when somebody gives him what he gives other people. I'm talking about Sean Strickland. This guy think his dick so big that he can not only sit out and wait for a title shot, but he can call the shots on where the fight takes place? Huh? I mean, these teep kicks and jabs that aren't intended to do any damage really got to him. And a lot of you guys too as well. And now he's the boogeyman. The boogeyman? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? The boogeyman. The boogeyman. Just fucking stop it. Stop it. This guy doesn't take chances anymore unless there's 10 seconds left in a round. Watch the Paulo fight. The Paulo Costa fight. It exposed it. Go rewatch it. And just listen for the... If you want to see Sean Strickland take a chance and try to hurt his opponent, just wait for the clapper. That indicates there's 10 seconds left in the round. Like the glaze this guy gets is unreasonable. And by the way, DDP beats his ass in the rematch. Beats him more definitively. Let's look at Sean Strickland's resume. I'm going to slide over to the right. He gets his lights shut off by Poatan. Then lose it to Jared. And the only reason Sean got the title fight is because the UFC didn't want to do a rematch between Jared and Izzy. Because at that time, Jared was more deserving of a title shot. If it was going to be a short notice title shot. He beats Nasruddin Imavov, which aged beautifully. I can't even hit on that one. That aged pretty beautifully. But at the same time, this is January 2023. Damn near 2022. It wasn't a win to flex about at that time. At all. We're talking about when Joaquin Buckley was still trying his luck at middleweight. Then he beat Abus Magomedov in his second fight in the UFC. The disappointment of Abus Magomedov. Everybody thought he was going to be this killer. Nah. So I want Sean to slow his roll. In the first place, you were gifted a title shot in the first place. All credit to him, though. He made the most of it. He beat Izzy. Lost it to DDP, which wasn't a robbery, by the way. I watched it about 3 or 4 times. Wasn't a robbery. Then he beat Paulo Costa in a dog shit fight that went to a split decision. And by the way, Paulo Costa doesn't have a single win in the UFC over somebody who's still on the active roster. He was 1-3 in his last 4 when he fought Sean, and really 0-3. Because who's counting that Luke Rockhold fight? And now all of a sudden, you're the boogeyman. Give it a break, man. Like, stop that shit. You're entitled crybaby. Who, first it was fuck the belt, but now since you got a taste of the belt, your whole fighting style is just vanilla now. Teep kicks, jab, not intended to hurt his opponent. Not taking any risk as well until there's 10 seconds left in the fight. Then let me see if I can find a shot. And he's the boogeyman? He's the boogeyman? Who is this guy beat? He beat Izzy. Other than that, who is he beat? We can't give credit to Paulo Costa wins anymore. Paulo Costa hasn't beat anybody in the UFC. Literally. That's a fact. He hasn't beat somebody that's on the active roster. I don't get it, man. I don't get the glaze. Was it because he would drop crazy one-liners and crazy zingers? Yeah, it was cool until DDP had him crying like a bitch on a podcast. But I'm really here to react to MMA Joey. I'm here to react to MMA Joey. He talked shit about Sean Strickland. He didn't talk shit about Sean Strickland. He stated facts about Sean Strickland and reacted to Sean Strickland interview. And I want to see what he has to say. So, take it away, Joey. Yeah, we going double pies today. I wanna really hear it, right? We got Sean Strickland cards racism to avoid Dricus du Plessis in South America. I love MMA Joey. If you ever come across me, MMA Joey, even though you're way bigger than me, I love you, MMA Joey. Great videos.
Dricus du Plessis made Sean Strickland cry yet again. We all knew this was coming after Dricus du Plessis' post-fight press conference at UFC 305. And I'm not talking about physical tears, but Sean Strickland is crying nonstop. He did an interview with ESPN. He also did a podcast. We're going to take a look at clips from both. But he cried about du Plessis ducking him, which is craziness. He also cried
because he already beat you, even though he already beat Robert Whittaker, but because he says that Robert Whittaker's more deserving than you, which he is. Okay.
Cried about South African racism. He also cried that he was robbed in the first fight and he loses close fights that he actually wins because of his love for Trump. And on top of all that, this habitual crybaby is still pushing false narratives about the first du Plessis fight, claiming that he was headbutted, and that is the reason that he lost the fight as well. So we're going to...
He was not cut from a headbutt. He was cut from a right hand. And I thought we already exposed this. But I guess MMA Joe got to expose it again.
Break it all down this video. We're going to jump right into it. And also, we're going to take a look
at
a Dana White clip that a lot of people might not have picked up on, which I think is hilarious, because Dana almost backtracked from giving Sean Strickland the next title shot. And I do believe there is a very large percentage chance that Sean Strickland does not get the next middleweight title shot. It remains to be seen. I'm not ready to die on that hill just yet, but we'll also take a look at that in this video as well. So we're going to start off right with, there's Sean Strickland crying.
There's definitely a chance because Robert Whittaker and Hamza Chimaev is going to be fireworks regardless. So, you never know, man.
You're going to see him doing a lot of this in the video, but it's not going to be physical tears. He's just going to be crying, making excuses about everything, and saying du Plessis ducking him. We're going to start with ESPN MMA.
Oh, yeah, no. The boss said, man, I'm next in line. You know, we're looking at the rankings. I'm next in line. You know, I don't blame Dricus for trying to duck me for fucking Whittaker, you know. I can't say that maybe I want to do the same thing. You go and you walk through Whittaker, and then, you know, you lose to me. The world knows you lost. Dana knows you lost. The world doesn't know
you lost,
I don't blame the guy for trying to duck me. I'd probably do the same damn thing.
So Dricus is trying to duck him now. Keep in mind, Dricus beat him. Dricus beat Adesanya more impressively than Strickland did.
He did.
And now he's saying, he's trying to duck me for Whittaker, when in reality, Whittaker's far more deserving of a title shot than Sean Strickland right now. That's before Whittaker fights Hamzat Chimaev. So if Whittaker beats Hamzat Chimaev, he is unequivocally more deserving than Sean Strickland.
Yeah, it's not close.
And here is Sean Strickland whining about where Dricus talked at the UFC 305 post-fight presser, saying Whittaker's being done over. Whittaker does deserve the next title shot. I did a whole breakdown on that. If you care to go check that out, I'll link it down in the description. Dricus absolutely humiliated Sean Strickland at the 305 presser.
Caio Barajo deserves it more. Damn near Nazardine Imavov.
And
he's one fight away. And these are guys who are still willing to fight and not just sit out. I hate that.
Strickland humiliates himself in this interview as well as the podcast we're going to take a look at. I believe it's Eric Nixick's podcast, but we'll get to that in a second. Next clip I want to show you. I mean, this is just... We got to point...
I jumped the gun on Caio Barajo a little bit, but, bro, he's beating real ranked opponents. I don't look at Paulo Costa as a real ranked opponent. This dude hasn't beat anybody. I don't even know how he is ranked, if you really think about it. Really think about it. I mean, I get it because he's losing to all the, a lot of the best dudes, but it's still L's without wins over ranked opponents. I'm sure Luke Rockhold was not ranked. So
I'm gonna point this out. I called it out in my other video. I just want to point it out here. Let's listen to it and then we'll react.
No, we're gonna have a 5-round war. Like, you know that's gonna happen. We're gonna go for 25 minutes and give some brain cells to the god, or do you want to go fight a guy who you broke in one round? So I don't blame the guy. I'd be trying to do the same shit, dude, but that's not how rankings work. That's not how the UFC works. We're gonna fight my man to the death.
To the death. We're gonna have a 5-round war.
to the death.
Believe it or not,
jab,
he's
kick,
talking
jab,
about
kick,
Dricus
kick.
Duplessis. He's not talking about
To
a
the
streamer. He's not talking about an influencer.
That's
He's
funny.
not talking about a teenage rock climbing instructor.
That's hilarious.
He's talking about Dricus Duplessis. He's going to go to war to the death. Sean Strickland needs to say to the decision, okay? Jab and teeps.
Jabs and
also,
teeps, that's what I'm
he
saying.
seems far too confident that he's getting this next title shot. And he's going to end up looking like this very soon if he ends up getting skipped over. We'll get to that Dana White clip in a little bit. To act like Dricus, who literally goes to war each and every time, is scared of fighting Strickland, a guy he's already defeated, mentally and
Nasty
physically,
work.
is absolutely insane. Now, this next clip is even more insane and even more humiliating because he acts like Dricus. He just got done, for some context here, he just got done pretending like Israel Adesanya isn't good. And now he's pretending like Dricus Duplessis isn't good and that the only reason Duplessis won is because of a cut. And he talks about that later as well, and we're going to break down that cut because he's lying about that.
A cut that he caused with a right hand. That's like Dustin Poirier saying, I lost to Justin Gaethje because he kicked me in the head. Well, he skillfully set up a head kick and kicked you in the head, DP. Like, it doesn't make sense.
About that cut.
Don't think
Well, it's kind of hard. So, like, you look at it from my perspective when I fought Dricus. Watch the fight. Until I had that, I mean, dude, that cut was nasty. Like, they said it was in the muscle. Until I had that
I'm sure
cut,
MMA Joey-
this has been a pretty standard, easy.
I'm sure MMA Joey shows the right hand that caused the cut. So, for all you guys, it was a headbutt. It was a headbutt. You don't know what you're talking about. It was a right hand.
fight for me.
It was an easy fight for him until he had that cut. By the way, that cut happened in the 4th round.
He
Dricus
lost
won
2 and
3 out of
3.
5 rounds.
And
It was pretty
4.
easy. And then, dude, the cut was so bad that it just, I mean, I couldn't see out of my eye. I'm left eye dominant. I just couldn't see anything. I went 2 rounds of like, I can't see. So even the 5th round, I couldn't see, but I was just like, well, we're just, bite the mouthpiece and fight. So
So we're going to get to that a little bit later because he
What?
eventually claims, and he has in the past, he claims this cut is from a headbutt. And also, I don't know if he's
It was a right hand.
misremembering or what, but he talks about the rounds a very weird way. It's nothing but excuses. He can't handle that he lost to Duplessis, so he has to cry and whine like he definitively won, even though he backed up like a little bitch the entire fight and jabbed.
You gotta be careful.
While
He's gonna want to
Dricus
fight you.
marched him down, threw big overhands, and clipped him and beat him up. Okay? It was a close fight. It was a competitive fight. But when you fight like that and then you cry that you lost in a very close fight and you make a bunch of excuses, and it gets even worse here in a second, he starts blaming basically political biases for the reason that he lost the fight, which is just insane. Talking about in general fights where he goes to close decisions because he's asked about that. And he says, look, it's because of my political affiliations. Talk about a
Fucking
card right
stop
out of the
it.
Colby Covington handbook. Absolute disgrace.
And shame on the people that's interviewing him, that's letting him say that. That goes to show you don't really know what's going on either.
Next clip we're going to take a look at. I'm so tired of hearing this shit, guys. This dude's crying that basically he likes Trump, and that's why his close fights go against him.
Yeah, I've
Whether
already heard
it
him
be
say that shit. I
Paulo
don't need him
Costa,
to say that
Jared
shit
Cannonier,
anymore.
Dricus Duplessis.
That's just ridiculous. We can skip that part. I can't keep hearing that shit because it's literally Dana White's company who holds Trump's hand as he walks out, and it just makes no sense. Damn near the whole UFC roster likes Trump. It just makes no sense how that's the reason you're losing fights. Like, shut the fuck up.
Okay, we're going to go to his podcast, or not his podcast, Eric Nixick's podcast. I'll link this down in the description. I'll link the interview from ESPN as well as this one down in the description so you can go check it out. I think this is new, to be quite honest. And again, here he is crying about what's going on in South Africa. Like that has any type of impact on him going to fight there. It has nothing to do with it. Nothing. So listen to this.
You're doing this. But now you are not the strong majority anymore. Right. And now it's happening to you. And you guys are all sitting in your fucking panic rooms like, oh no, like, this is not right or fair. Like, no, fuck you, dude. Go back to fucking Dutch or where the fuck you're from, dude.
Yeah, I did see something.
So go back to Dutch or wherever you're from. Imagine if Adesanya said that. So all the little, Strickland fanboys who would have cried and whined if Adesanya would have said, you better get on Sean Strickland as well. Sean Strickland is, a beta male. He's crying about racism. Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear it from the MMA community. You got Sean Strickland crying about racism in 2024.
They pick and choose.
That is crazy talk, considering he says women shouldn't be allowed to leave the kitchen. They shouldn't be allowed to work or vote. He's talking about people who died and making fun of them, when their families are mourning. He's talking about people's wives. Meanwhile, DDP talks a little bit of crap to him, says, I'm going to beat you like your daddy did. And Sean O'Malley says, at least my daddy didn't fuck me. And this is what you get out of Sean Strickland.
Bro, what?
For a month straight. That's what you get from him. Now, the next thing we're going to take a look at, actually, is him crying about the headbutt even more, which I just don't understand. I don't know if he actually believes this or not.
Are you want it back because you want
Let me tell you, if it wasn't for that headbutt and cut, I would have fucking walked through him. If you watch that fight, till the
it was a
happened.
right hand.
If it wasn't for the headbutt and cut, I would have walked through him.
Shame on you too as well for letting him say that.
The cut happened in the 4th round. You lost 2, 3, and 4 to my recollection. So you lost 2 rounds before the cut. You lost damn near 50% of the fight, 40% of the fight before the cut.
I was living in the fucking Matrix, bro. I was fucking seeing everything you see.
I was there. I text Eric literally right after, and I.
By the way, I only watched like 10 minutes of this podcast. You can tell this guy's the ultimate yes man. I mean, he would give Sean a rim job right now if he asked him. I'm telling you 100%.
125, and he goes, yeah, me too.
Yeah, watch. Yeah, and the reason why I lost 3 and 4 was the blood. Yeah, and
so he lost 3 and 4 because of the blood.
But the cut was in the 4th.
Ray Cepho, I remember.
That's it. Okay, so it's the headbutt. He lost 3 and 4 because of the blood.
Roll the tape.
Luckily for you guys,
roll the tape.
I have the slow-mo of the 4th round, about a minute into the 4th round, maybe 30 seconds into the 4th round. Keep in mind, there's no blood on. I know you can't really see it too much yet, but there's no blood on Sean Strickland's face. He was not bleeding in round 3. And I want you to watch this very first right hand from Dricus du Plessis.
Watch it.
This
is
what
right
actually
hand.
cuts open Sean Strickland.
It wasn't a headbutt. It was a right hand.
Okay, right hand lands. Right on the left eye. Watch where it lands again. I'm going to show you one more time. Boom. Right on the left eye. Right exactly where the cut was. Then he misses the follow-up left hand, okay?
It's going to trickle in a second.
You can see Strickland's not bleeding just yet. He's not bleeding just yet, but you'll see it in a second. Undeniable, unequivocal evidence that he was bleeding before the quote-unquote head clash.
He blinks. He winks.
So you'll see
his
in a
left
second.
eye.
He starts to blink it out here. Watch. In a sec. So that jab misses, and then the left hand misses. And in a second, from the camera angle change, look, you can see him blinking it out right there. Now watch. You'll see the blood trickle down his face here in a second. Boom. Right there. There's blood right trickling. You can just barely see it in the frame on the screen right now. But there's blood trickling down his face right now. Look. Boom. Better freeze frame. Better freeze frame. You look, there's blood right there. That is what caused the cut, that right hand. It's not in any head clash. I'm going to show you the head clash that happens immediately afterwards. That wasn't even a significant head clash. But again, he's already bleeding. You can kind of see it right there as well. Right here is where he talks that he got cut open, right? Right here, as Dricus comes up. So you can, look, he just grazes against it. Just grazes against it. And then you can see, okay, a little bit more. I think he just smeared the blood with the head clash. The blood was just smeared. You can see it right there. Unequivocal, undeniable that it was a right hand that cut open Sean Strickland, not a head clash.
Undeniable.
But this dude is still crying about it. Now, the last thing I want to show you is Dana White. Because Dana White came out and said, yeah, Sean's the #1 contender. He's ranked #1. He's next in line. He deserves it. At Dana White's Contender Series, he didn't sound so committed, if you ask me. He did not, and we know Dana White. You know, it's not always who's most deserving, okay? They might give it to someone else, and even so, Sean Strickland's not most deserving. Does this sound like a guy who's 100% dead set on giving Sean Strickland the next title fight? Listen to this.
The middleweight division is really starting to kind of
heat up. I agree.
Crammed at the very top, so...
Yeah, there's nothing but fun fights coming up in the middleweight division. It's like when everybody, it's like you're asking me right now. who knows? There's just so many possibilities in that division right now. And I always like, instead of talking first, I like to see how fights play out and how it.
What I understood right there, as a longtime watcher and body language expert of Dana White, he regretted what he said about Sean Strickland. Watch.
So many possibilities in that division right now. And I always like, instead of talking first, I like to see how fights play out and how it all, after everybody fights, let's see what happens and we'll find out what's next.
Yeah.
He wasn't even specifically
It's in the air
asked
right
about
now.
the middleweight title there. That sounds like a little bit of a backtrack. We know Dricus probably isn't fighting until the end of the year at earliest. Probably not till next year.
Yeah.
Possibly. We don't know for sure. So much can change between now and then. So much can change. And especially when you have Sean Strickland crying and whining and saying crazy stuff on social media 24/7, saying he's not going to South Africa, which it seems like Dana wants to go to South Africa. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, because they always say, oh, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, and then they never end up going. But the next question is about South Africa.
Is South Africa on the docket? Because
100%.
Thank you.
100%.
South Africa, 100% on the docket. It seemed like he's committed to South Africa. Now, can they make that happen? I don't know the logistics of that. But there is a decent chance that Sean the Crybaby Strickland does not get the next title shot against Strickland du Plessis. But it's so hilarious putting all these clips together and looking at Sean Strickland cry and whine. He's ducking me, and it was because of Trump that I lost, and I don't want to go to South Africa because of racism and this and that. And it's just so funny because it proves exactly what I said in my video from a couple days ago. Dricus du Plessis absolutely humiliated him at the UFC 305 presser. Go check that out. I'll put it in the end cards as well as the description. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Go subscribe to MMA Joy. Great videos from that guy. And yeah, that's gonna wrap this one up as well. The dude's a clown, man. Wake up. Get out. Come on, man. Get your head out of your ass and just look. Shit's right there in front of your face. You ain't gotta go home. But you gotta get up out of here, man. I love y'all.